You say he is saying, she is saying. That's all.
That is difficult for us to...
Very difficult to understand. What is the time you want to know? You see, it says that this is not the time here. It is 4.5 hours behind. I have not corrected the time. 3:50 p.m. in England. That's the time. You see, you have heard this before. So if you ask the question, what is the time? I say it is. England time is in England.
I heard. So it says automatically.
No, automatically.
When I say, I look at the watch, clock watch.
You are not even looking at the clock. The information that is there says it is 3:50.
Just mixer this.
Yes. You are not. You never look at the watch.
Clock is here. No, I look at the clock and tell.
You say I look at the clock.
What is the time? Either I see my watch.
So this is not interested. The clock is not interested in telling the time. Nobody is interested in finding out the time. There, inside of you, only when the question arises, what is the time, you look at the clock. So that girl there, who is cooking, she does not know what time is. You can put the clock before her. So if I press this, and if she hears that this is 6:30, then she knows that it is 6:30. So that's all that she knows about the time. Not to read the clock, because she has not been taught. In every language, you see, they teach us for hours and hours about the time. You know, to read the time in all languages. So whatever you are taught, you are repeating like a machine. The assumption that that is the identity that I am talking about. The memory is all that is there. That memory is not yours, not mine. Created by those people who existed before. Don't ask me the question how originally it started.
Supposing the
time is lost for a person, how is it he becomes so conscious of the time?
Huh? That is the only time I have. You don't have another time. Achievement.
I see. The clock time.
The clock time is all
that is there.
The body also knows that it is foolish, because that's why I ask the time is there is a difference between the way this body is running and the way that clock is running. You know, this you can understand this. When you are thinking furiously, that means you see you are occupied. You see this. This time, and you see, you watch the clock, it's only 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's all. When you are not thinking, that runs faster. I don't know if you have ever noticed. A sick man lying in a bed, you say the time is hanging heavy. Because he is not thinking about that at all. The time factor is not involved. So the clock runs slow there. Because this is running fast. If this does not run fast, you see the absurdity of the clock. Already 4 o'clock, already 5 o'clock, you say to yourself many times. When you want to wake up for the plane to take at 6 o'clock, you wake up half a dozen times. You still find that it is only 1 o'clock, and it's 1:15, 1:20. You understand what I'm saying?
What does it mean, sir? You said that way.
This is not interested in thinking at all.
So
you are preoccupied with your misery, and so there is a difference between this clock and that clock. This is running faster than that clock. If you are not involved with your thoughts, you see, this is slow and that is fast. I don't know if you get it.
It appears.
It appears.
Actually, there is no difference there. But here difference is here.
Yes, the difference is here, not there.
Okay. Then
that is why they say that the body clock is not in harmony with the clock created by us. You see, they also say why we fix 360 days. That is really the problem for the body, because it has no calendar. That is the reason why we push the children. They have their own clock, they eat their own way, they wake up in the middle of the night and bother you. So, but we want them to fit themselves into this frame, and then you see they, for their own reasons, forced to become part of our clock mechanism. That is
very interesting.
You mean...
that's why I sent it to you.
It says that light, time is measured in terms of light, And even light is not absolute.
Nothing
So
is...
because if the gravitational pull is very larger than the Earth's gravitational pull, the light starts, it cannot travel in the same
It gets bent. Gets bent.
Gets bent
Yes.
and
You see, the agelessness,
more time.
the aging is due
Speed
to
of light increases.
you know. Otherwise, the body has its own rhythm. It runs out on its own. So your thinking is responsible for the aging process. What you call aging?
So if I say there is no thinking,
They don't say if I say there is no thinking. And what would you do?
shall I say that thinking is time?
Thought is time.
Thought is time?
Thought is time. The moment the thought is born, the time is there.
born.
The thought is not. It is not thoughtless state. It is not timeless state.
Can you say there are three time factors? One is the clock time,
That
the
is
other
it.
is biological time,
Yes.
and third is my thinking
There is
time.
only one time, and that time does not exist.
Which time
It
does
is immeasurable. There is no way you can measure the time of this body.
I see.
You know. So we are influenced by that time all the time.
So this experiment in Paris, in a cave, sat there, no calendar, nothing else, no clock. So he could live for 48 hours. This a day, he did not be 24 hours.
That's
at all.
what I am saying. There is no day
Anyway.
in the body. So those who go into the space, they have found out. You see, the twins, they have given this. They are wondering. The whole thing started this way. There are twins. The twin is on this planet, Earth planet. One fellow goes in the space for days and days. He comes back, and this fellow who is stationary has aged much more than the fellow who is there in the space because the time is out for him.
Yeah, that is a triple rahasya. It is.
Einstein talks of it.
In Tripura Rahasya, they imagine these things.
But how do I imagine that this can happen?
You will know. How am I talking? You think I have read these articles? I haven't. You see, that is why that fellow there in Delhi asked this question. He has come into his own, on his own, through his own, or he has, because everybody is talking the same thing now. Am I learning these things from them, or he has come out on his own? What some of these people are talking. Today I was talking of these things 15 years ago, 21 years ago. You know. So now they are beginning to realize in their own way. See, they are more interesting than all these Vedantins talking about time. See, this is metaphysics. That is not metaphysics. So they are interested in finding out. That is why I say, if somehow the scientists find out that there is a God, they are the ones who will certainly believe in that. He is himself first. But a religious man, if it is found that there is no God, he will still continue to believe in God. That's the difference between them. They will totally believe in God.
But can the science find out that there is God?
Because God does not exist. It is.
Then why don't you say, sir?
As an example, I am saying the religious man is incorrigible. His belief. That is the greatest danger in the world today. If these political ideologies fail, there is a danger of these religious people stepping in and fooling those people that we have answers for your problem. Then you see, it is not that. You see, what will happen is fundamentalism will be on the rise. It will be the worst thing. He may not agree with me. Those people who are praising Hinduism, they will be fundamentalists like the Iraqis or the Iranians there. Not that religion, Hinduism has an answer. Hinduism has no answer for our problem. It is Hinduism that has created all this starvation, this misery. How can you tolerate oneness of life and universal brotherhood? How can you tolerate starvation? Don't talk of starvation to me. And we are very well fed. We sit and discuss the problem of starvation. He is the one. He is not asking the question, why is there starvation? Very well-fed people sit here and discuss about the starvation. And you tell him that the starvation is there for him because he did something terrible in his past life. Is that the answer for that? I'm sorry. In his next life, for this torture, he will be well-fed. What are you talking? The same in the West. Don't imagine this. See, there is a possibility of starvation in this country. How can you imagine starvation, misery, and then you see countries, rich countries like America, the slums there and the slums here in India, compared to them, this is a paradise, I tell you. You come with me, I will show you. Valentine first time visited the United States in 1981. She didn't want to go for some reason. She was fascinated by New York City and all the skyscrapers. Valentine, I will take you to the real America. Come. So we got into a taxi, a car I think, went there to the Harlem. Is this America, she said. If this is America, I am not interested in this country. There is no poverty in Switzerland. Nobody starves in this country. See, that's a small country, that is understandable. You know, why 7,000 people in San Francisco City have no roofs over their head? I want to know. Huh? Why people there are collecting things from the garbage in the world's richest country? I want to know. That country has no answer for Russia.
Bag ladies.
Bag ladies, hundreds of them. Huh? How can you justify those things? What good is that system? Good for me, for her, not for the world. If that is the kind of government we are going to have, what little they have achieved in this communist country of feeding everybody and sheltering everybody will be destroyed. So that fellow should be shot dead. You know, Gorbachev. And she is living like a Zarina or buying all the rich things there. Now she has understood what I was telling years and years ago. You don't believe that first time when they visited New York to attend the United Nations gathering, that bitch and he went straight to Bloomingdale to buy the things there. I don't trust such a fellow. Yeah, that bitch Raisa. You did not believe, people did not believe when I said the things that are likely to happen. Not prophecy, Chandrasekhar is a simple, common sense, educated guess. See what is happening there. It will break up. They cannot stop that. No. It's a huge, it never was won, Russia. Never was won. This country, you don't talk to me about the heritage, great heritage of it, and I am not interested. If that heritage has produced people like me, it is not worth bothering.
So quite happy about this heritage, sir, that produced people.
No, not me. Despite that heritage, of great heritage of India, as long as there is one star, don't tell me, ask me what I am doing. But I am not talking about the starvation. You are the guide. Tell him that he did something terrible in his past life. Is that the answer, sir? Your Vedanta? Come on, sir. Maya, is it Maya? Jagan Midhya, Brahma Satyam, that is Satyam. Your Brahman is Midhya.
So you said that the thought sphere, and thoughts are not generated in the human mind.
They are not self-generated.
Where is
They are
this
not
sphere, can you elaborate this?
See, thought is memory, nothing else.
And then why
What
do
is
you
it that
thought
gets-
sphere, sir?
No, thought sphere means all around us. You see. It is not the consciousness that these people are talking about. There is no consciousness other than memory.
How does thought sphere exist? In what form?
It doesn't exist. It is transmitted from generation to generation.
So there is no thought sphere exists?
No.
Because you said thoughts come from thought sphere and the brain works as an antenna.
That is, you see, the response to the stimulus.
Yes, sir. Where is this stimulus coming from? That's what we are asking.
That is stimulating, that light is stimulating your eye, throwing the image on the retina.
Where is the thought sphere, sir, from which you are coming? You mentioned about the thought sphere.
Knowledge that is passed on to us.
Genes.
Huh?
Genes.
It is not in the genes, it is a translation of a sensory perception within the framework of your memory.
Memory is in cells.
We don't know, nobody has given any
It is in the cells.
They are neurons, they say.
They are transmitted through the cells and through the genes.
That we don't know yet. One of these days they will find out whether the genes also transmit the memory from generation to generation. What blocked the whole understanding is the theory of evolution. You see that joker, Darwin. His theories are false.
In the Omni book you gave me, genes are...
You know that Omni, this woman who interviewed me, she wrote 10 times. The 10 times she prepared the interview, and so 10 times she submitted. Every time they rejected, they have asked her to write 11th time. So they are not satisfied with what she has done. So they don't know. She does not know what to do with my.
Genes are immortal and they are using the body as a vehicle,
Yeah. Body does not belong to you, sir. We are matter. Then once this happens, it becomes part of the whole. You have no separation.
This high consciousness, do only
Where
human
is
beings
it?
have or?
Where is it? You tell me.
No, I have it in I don't know.
Where?
I can't look at it.
Where is?
It's there in the mind, obviously. It's a
You
thought
are
process.
you are making statements.
It's a thought process.
Don't make any statements. Those are the things which you have memorized and somebody has put in there. Apart from that, you really don't know a thing about it.
The people like me do have. Do
Where
other
is it?
teachers also have?
Don't say people like me. If you have, you must be able to tell me. Don't bother about what others said. People say you can't tell me the things that you are talking about.
Is there a way of finding out by myself, sir?
No. There is no need to find out.
There is no need to find out.
This does not want to learn anything, or does not want to know anything.
Well, because we want to get out of this misery of life. That's why.
Who is trying to...
Don't ask that Vedanta question. Who does not exist? The assumption that there is some entity there is the problem for you. You cannot conceive of talking without a talker, seeing without a seer, physical seer, not the spiritual seer I'm talking about.
So I stand for illusion.
Huh?
I stand for illusion.
The I is a first person singular pronoun. The language has created this problem for you. That is the only I that is there. Huh? Everything else you experience is what those jokers taught. There is no ego there. All that you are doing to free yourself from ego is the one that has created the ego and keeps it going. You will never be free from the ego. Because you are trying to be free from something that is not there. So you are concerned about how to be, if what they say is true, the desires are hormones, the whole structure of ethical codes of conduct collapses.
How, sir? Please explain.
Desire is a hormone.
If that is proved that way,
Yes.
how does the ethical code...
There is no way you can free yourself from the desire. If the desire is not there, you are a corpse. So you are not dealing with this living. You are dealing with how to be free from desire, and what the hell you are interested in freeing from something that is not there, and talk of desirelessness that does not exist. Why you are doing all this? Because the society says that you should be desireless. The spiritual man says, replace that desire with the spiritual desire. All desires are the same.
Is desire only for us or for the liberated one also, sir?
There is no liberated one at all. The other time says, he is liberated from this nonsense of wanting to be a desireless person, wanting to be free from anger, wanting to be free from greed, wanting to be free from anger, jealousy.
Do you have any desire, sir?
Huh?
Do you have any desire?
No, not in it, because I am not doing anything to free myself from desire.
Is it because we want to free ourselves from, do we have desire?
Yes.
But sometimes it is not...
No, sometimes you have never tried it seriously. Dangerous also. What is there is only the movement that is trying to free from desire. So, to be in desireless state also is a desire. To be in a thoughtless state is also a thought. Don't give me the example of the Vedantins. You know, you use a stick to stir the fire and throw it away. You are not going to throw it away.
Yeah, other day you were mentioning...
Forget about the other day.
A new type of television which you want to install it here. Is it a desire or...
No, convenience and economic reason. You see, every time we have this transfer, we have to pay $30. You see, every time. So we have spent more than $3,000. She has spent more than $3,000 to transfer them onto the PAL system. So with that you can buy 3,000 means what? How much you can take? 51,000 rupees. You can buy 2 multi-system televisions here. I can send them directly from the United States. You can play them and watch. You understand? Saving money is the design. Practical. And so now I have revised, I don't even know if we need that. You see, this one will serve the purpose.
There was no time and thoughts were not there.
You really don't know whether the thoughts are not there or not there, are there or not there. You have no way of knowing.
When we
The thought is there when you want to know. So you maintain that knowing, consuming tremendous amount of energy. That is the identity. What is the identity that tells you that you are bored, that you are not happy, that you are not enlightened, that you are angry, that you are greedy, that you are jealousy, that you are this, that and the other? Huh? That it is hot, cold, light, bright, sun, that is Valentine. It never tells me. Where is the need for me to recognize that it is Valentine's portrait? What for? Nobody is asking me. I am not asking whose photo is that.
And what is it that tells me that it is Valentine's photo?
It is the memory.
Memory.
Yes. So you are nothing but memory. What is that memory? Just neurons. Where are they? Are they in the brain? No, now they are beginning to say that memory is not only, you can survive. You see, that is a baby born without brain. She is enjoying, the child is enjoying Walt Disney. Then laughing like any one of us without brain. What are you talking? It's before long. It may not happen in your lifetime and my lifetime, but it is going to happen. That they will put a small chip there in your brain, which contains the totality of human knowledge from the very beginning. So my importance as one who knows a lot more than you do is out. Now it is available for sale in Australia for 1600, I don't know how much it is. The whole of Encyclopedia Britannica is put on a single disc. What you have to do, and you have to buy a special kind of a television, and that talks to you, it reads for you. Single disc, the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. It's a fact, it is not a dream. You need money, you can buy a television, you can buy the disc, you play the disc. If you want to read silently, you can read it on the television, you can listen and listen to that on the television. The whole Encyclopedia Britannica on a single disc. The 3 conversations you have, they made in, now they have put it on a disc. So you see, already my conversations are on a disc. You see, all this will be 150, 200 tapes, audio tapes can be put on a single disc. So I know you don't know. What is my importance? Huh? My memory is better than yours. That's all. And why should I feel proud? I am enlightened. This is not materialism, sir. Even that materialism is an outdated idea. The whole thing is built on matter. You know, that is not the materialistic philosophy. The spirituality is the materialistic. Of course, you want enlightenment to deal with the material values. What are you talking? Why do you go and pray? What for? Only for your material needs.
No.
What else?
To get rid of the tormenting thoughts.
What for?
Thoughts be a totally.
You are not going to succeed.
To get out of misery, sir.
The misery is created by your God. You don't understand.
I create the misery and then I am going to overcome my misery
It
to
is not.
God's help.
Look, it's very simple. In those days, the people lived in jungles. Huh? They could not control fire. So you turn fire into a god and you worship God. Now you are able to control fire. Why the hell you should worship fire as a god? Rain. You have umbrellas, you have raincoats, you have every way of protecting yourself. And why should you worship that? Of course, you still have to worship sun. If the sun is absent for 30 days, if the planet stops rotating, that will be the end of all forms of life on this planet.
Aditya Hridayam.
Aditya Hridayam is responsible for denying what belongs to everybody on this planet. There is plenty for everybody on this planet. Nature has created abundance. Huh? And why is there stuff? You don't know, sir, these countries. You condemn these people. Corruption is on a gigantic scale in the United States. They don't like what I'm saying. I don't say. In India, I don't condemn India. I condemn only the United States. See, point out the absurdity of starvation. You don't believe, sir? Our slums compared to the slums in the United States are paradise.
The Bombay slums.
Bombay slums. At least they have some shelter here. Those people in San Francisco, 7,000 of them walk in the streets. No place to sleep. How can you tolerate that kind of a thing? Bad with, like these dogs there, they pick up things from the garbage. You see, people throw away everything. Those who have plenty. It's the same here. The rich man is doing the same thing. How can you tolerate that? Where is the oneness of life? It has to hurt you physically, not spiritually, not poetically, not romantically. Then you will not hurt.
No, that is political, social welfare. Sir.
You are responsible. Why do you separate?
Spiritually, if I exist, everything exists.
If you don't
If I
exist,
don't exist, nothing exists.
so you no, it's a philosophical fact. You are talking about philosophical, intellectual concept. It is not a fact in your life. So you have no business to talk about that.
I am projecting the world.
You are
If the drop finish, the world doesn't exist.
that's a theory to you. If that is the way you are functioning, then it's too dangerous. Don't do that. For God's sake, pity's sake, for your sake, for the sake of the world, don't do that.
But you don't accept this theory that this world is a mental projection of you.
Come on, don't joke. Theoretically, yes, it is, but factually, it is not.
Actually also because the three stages, again we come to the same thing, the sleep, the wakefulness and sleep, they are operating like a tape and
You are repeating what is there in the books. Vedanta nonsense. There are no three states, there is no state at all.
These are not your words, he says. Not really says that the clocks are very limited devices. He points out that the past does not exist except in our memory.
That's all.
His man is exactly.
What is our Gopinath said, sir, that Charan Singh died?
Yes, Charan Singh died. I told him that he was practicing kindness of heart too much, so he has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heart attacks.
All states government were beginning.
Charan Singh,
And he believes that it was the other Charan Singh. Ranganajan was here.
And our Aparajita was correcting him. He died long time ago.
But he was not ready to believe.
He was not. Ajit Singh's father. Ajit Singh's father.
And he believed that because he does not want his supreme God to die.
No, this supreme God, super God can die. He can never die.
Huh?
As per Rangarajan, he being super God, he can never die.
No,
Superman.
he's a mad man.
Rangarajan.
Now he wants to go to Tirupati Chandrasekhar and he has saved 5,000 rupees. He wants to put it in the hundi.
Same Rangarajan.
Same Rangarajan, he was telling me this morning. He didn't go to work. He's crazy. Huh? Why should you put 5,000 rupees there? 6,000 he has saved.
6,000.
Rupees. He's going to
Because
Tirupati.
Guru is dead, he wants to go to Tirupati.
No, he doesn't believe that the Guru is dead. You told him that it's not this Charan Singh.
No, I told him, your Guru, how can he die? Don't bother about this news. He was shocked. The moment he said, your Charan Singh is dead, what? He was shocked.
Why should he be shocked?
Take it easy.
Sir, saints and
How
sinners
can he
die
die?
exactly the same way. They are born exactly the same way.
How can your master die? He is born, never born.
The one who believes that Jesus was the son of a virgin and not a bitch can believe anything. This is my line. Hey, don't say that, you see, on the television. Yes, he was a mixed up kid. I don't care, next time they don't invite me. You know, it's not like this. You see, if some such statement is made, they will lose business. They run them not with the aid of the government, but commercials. They will withdraw all the commercials, they will be in trouble. You know.
They not made such statement there.
Huh? I did. What do I care? Next time they don't invite me.
How many interviews recorded?
I have it here, 2 hours.
Video or
Huh?
video or audio? Video.
Audio. Video, she did not do that day. No, she's still trying. The problem for them is to where to fit me. In what cage they can put me. They are finding it difficult.
Difficult to cage you.
Huh? You are not going to succeed. The day you succeed, that's the end of me.
How can you say this? You don't believe the Vedantists, but the modern science people.
I don't believe them
one day-
either.
No, but you said one day they will find out what memory is.
That
How
is-
can they are part of the memory? How can they come out?
That is why basically whatever they have found so far, you see, is valid within a certain framework. You know? That is more reliable than this fellow sitting in a cave and fancying things. See, they know that now. See, when they have come to a point where they see order in this frame, cannot be sustained because the next frame shows there is chaos in the universe. Huh? I forgot, I will send you that tape, Chandrasekhar, the BBC chaos. It's very interesting, all the scientists talking about. They are all lost. You see, knowledge, as he quoted there, Einstein rejected all authority and everybody turned him to an authority. So, if what they say is true, if your physical eye you are looking, let alone your knowledge influencing what you are looking at, the physical eye is already affecting what you are looking at. So there is no way you can find out the reality of anything.
That's what the scientists have found in the subatomic particles.
The electrons, you have to find out what it is. The react itself, you will never know.
You will never know.
They just vary.
So anything that you find through the help of thought is destructive. More so your religious thoughts. Sorry, thank you, sir. I'm sorry. I will not burn your temples, I will not burn your Vedas. You can have them all. You forget that Veda is born out of the acid heads. They were drinking soma juice and created this misery for us. What's that?
You are doing worse, better you burn.
I am doing good. I burn you will burn me on a stake very soon.
You burn the temples on the books, but you are doing the other way.
That is important. It has to be burnt inside of you. Don't say that you become a god. It's a filthy word. You see, it's a very useful instrument for people to destroy. The harm your reincarnation has done. The near-death experience of these people. That woman who came to see me, her books, The Dream World or whatever it is, I sent you all about these people. The fellow who wrote the letter to you, his wife, 1 million copies sold. Huh? And now, I sent you a copy of her letter to me after the feedback. Huh?
Yes.
She said she is dreaming about me and dreaming of making a documentary on me, but she cannot put my words together and create a script. So she is writing an article for the health.
Scientist in Japanese.
No, he is a philosopher. He has taught practically in every university in the world.
That is a near-death experience.
Near-death experience.
Who knows? She heard him and she wrote a letter to you also.
Yes, yes.
Don't touch him.
Don't destroy him. The dear terrorizer, she called me. My friend, she addresses me, not dear you, dear terrorizer. That fellow, long letter he wrote comparing me to talking about, you remember I also sent a photocopy of that. Long letter thanking John for taking it
Yes.
from me.
Yes.
There was a time when there was no knowledge at all, world knowledge.
Why are you asking, sir? Because you are caught up in the field of cause and effect.
Be separated from nature.
Your answer is there, which comes first, the egg or the chicken? So that was the clever, intelligent way of not facing the situation and dropping that question. I am sure they will come up with some answer one of these days that we see. This is not evolution. The human beings started on their own.
On their own. It's not a linear evolution.
No,
from the species, from the others.
Was nature threw you out, you said. Then nature threw you out.
Yeah, nature is not interested in me because I cannot physically reproduce one life.
Okay.
Forget about spirituality.
Nature threw you out. That means nature is
interested in one thing.
nature is there, isn't it?
No, I have to say the word use nature.
That means that is consciousness.
No.
Then is there consciousness?
Just don't ask the questions. When do you become conscious of anything inside of you or outside of you?
So you are talking about
don't
individuals.
No, individual
Is there
and
consciousness? Is nature consciousness?
you will know that all the talk about world consciousness, divine consciousness, cosmic consciousness is absurd nonsense.
Doesn't exist?
No.
That is nothing exists. That's what
If you don't exist, as you said, you are repeating Vedantic.
No, something must exist.
Why do you say something must
If
exist?
nothing exists, that means they show
Your memory, see, that is memory, you don't understand that. Whatever you are repeating is memory. It's not even your words. You claim for the words which you don't own. That's the end. You can find out easily. There are no two things there. Somebody
there
who
will
is
be
conscious.
only one thing.
Huh?
There is only one thing.
That one thing you will never know.
I will never know, I know.
Nobody knows.
But still there is one thing.
Why do you say that? And these claimants don't know either. The jokers who are selling shoddy piece of goods. You know that fellow who the first thing he asked me is 90 years old, is dying of cancer. That Werner. So he still feels that he should interview me, that we should talk. I have the cassette already last year, but half of it was destroyed by Kim. But the second half was more interesting than the first half. I sent you that.
90 years born, New York.
Yes, New York. He still wants to see me and Julie wants to videotape that conversation. And the first thing he asked me is, who will have the copyright, he asked. 90-year-old man dying of cancer. Who will have the copyright? I'm not joking. I said, you can have the copyright.
That's what you wanted.
That's what you want, I'll give you the copyright to use. Jungian, he's a very big man. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Dharan Singh, Radha Swami, he died. It is good. This is interesting, Chandrasekhar. I want her to put Robert Stevenson. It is there in one of the shops, travel agency. I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. That is the answer.
Gopinath comes here, no? He is running local center.
I think I sent most of them.
Yes.
This also I sent. This videotape will be worth an awful lot of money in due course. This also I sent.
Bangalore, Gopinath is running center. Gopinath comes here, no? He will be big man here in Bangalore.
This is the fellow, Chandrasekhar, ABC man, who helped me. After listening, there is no hope for me, no answer to my plight. Everywhere I turn, I see the blackness of the night. There are no stars or moon to point or show the way. There is only nothing I can do and simply nothing I can say.
Is an ABC television man.
Huh?
ABC television fellow.
He's a nice newsman. His poems I sent you.
His poems are there.
It is called Baba
Huh?
70.
This is the fellow MD He is a Jungian analyst and founding member of the International Association of Analytical Psychology and the New York Association for Analytical Psychology. He is also the founder of the C.G. Jungian Clinic in New York and a life fellow of the American Psychiatric Association. He is 90 years old, he is dying of cancer. And he wants to record this video cassette interview with me, conversation with me. We did it on audio last time. So the doctors advised him not to sit in a chair and talk to me. And the first thing he asked Julie, who is going to have the copyright? I said, you will have the copyright. I don't know. And this is another fellow. Sir, all the psychiatrists who are against me is the international president of the Institute for Relationship Therapy. The Mind is a Myth is a very interesting and a provocative book that I have ever come across in my life. And let me know when UG comes to New York so that I can visit him and have a talk with him. He's a big, very big fellow. They can't even agree to what I am saying. You see, that they are interested in what I am saying. This is what I tell them. You have to find the answer within that framework. But not go to, you see, these religious people, not go to Vedantics, not go to anything. There is a danger, you see, this they are going to Journey of the Spirit. They have planned 13 interviews, portraits of the travelers along the way. Everybody in every field of life, spiritual leaders like Dalai Lama, Matthew Fox.
Who planned, sir?
Some man who is preparing, Louis Hay, Swami Sachidananda, Peer William Kenneth Khan, a mystic. And then thinkers, world travelers, storytellers and non-guru tradition, U.G. Krishnamurti.
What did he say about
He is an iconoclast in the true sense. After following all the traditional and prescribed practices to gain enlightenment for years, he came to the conclusion that there is nothing one can do through any spiritual practice to achieve enlightenment. There may not be any enlightenment at all. UG is responsible for 2 books, Mystic of Enlightenment. UG likes to travel, and when in US, when not reading the Time magazine and watching TV commercials, he likes to visit shopping malls. Yes, what you said is true, Chandrasekhar, this fellow. That Gasper, what is that fellow you want? Michael Horner, Ken Wahlberg, Kevin Ryerson, Fridge of Capra.
Yes, Fridge of Capra.
Yes, he is also there. A physicist, is the author of the best-selling The Physics and Other Worlds. Capra focuses on the parallels between recent discoveries in particle physics and tenets of Taoism, Buddhism and Hinduism. That's the worst thing that can happen to mankind, is to find answers in Hinduism and Vedanta. It has nothing to do with it. Single particle does not exist at all. They are not going to find us. What?
Yes, Krishnamurti also says that.
This you give it to him. Krishnamurti, they celebrated Shankara's birthday in the United States. There is one Indian philosopher there. He wants some activity, he invites philosophers from all over the world. And this time it was on Shankara, last time it was on what? I don't know.
That article is separate. Krishnamurti's article is not.
We read that paper based upon the teachings of U.G. Krishnamurti.
Non-duality.
Non-duality. Where is that? You have it here? And everybody was shocked. Who is this fellow? Why is he talking about you? His personal life also influenced him. So they have to talk. There is one fellow who runs a church, and he has 600 people. He upside down. Larry Morris is his name. Every day, UG's love. We aren't ready, we don't want it, can't stand it. The steady pressure of choice, peace and goodwill. He is offering us ice packs, but we want ice packs but not fire.
The viability of non-duality.
The viability of non-duality, Professor, not Department of Philosophy. For some of the remarks in this paper, I am indebted to the teachings of U.G. Krishnamurti. Some others are based upon my observations of the way he lives. Of course, in no case should what I say here be attributed to him.
That's
Yes, he is very. No, that is a
it's a
polite.
copy. Totally good.
Huh?
It's a copy.
Oh, so you can read
I
it.
would say that you are interpreting Vedanta better.
Interpreting, not teaching Vedanta.
Shankaras, you are doing better light on Shankaras.
What about that rabbi saying that I throw an almond? And then the
Bible
Bible.
is saying the same thing also.
Yes.
He is saying the same thing. From your teachings, he views the Bible and all that in a different way now.
That is the most horrible thing that he can do. UG is right, hold your hand. UG is wrong.
And false.
False. You can take it and read them. You are the one that was interested. Where are we? What are have we left Bangalore? Chandrasekhar. Still the same people, the same place, same talk.
Time. He writes that when a light passes through the black hole,
Yes.
the light stops. Time stops.
So it is always that, is it? That is what that Chandrasekhar got the Nobel Prize, recently.
Yes, yes. Because the gravitational pull there,
So the whole Newtonian physics is passed to the ground.
without
You know,
gravity,
see, if you lift your hand, it is because of the gravitation. It's not just you are wanting to lift your hand. You believe that you are doing it. You are not doing it. So something to that. You see, if UG is wrong, if UG is right.
Lifting is my effort. Falling is gravitation.
exactly. It has got to do with you, you know. The hand going up and coming down. And the UG stands for unknown gravity. I think.
What's that? Crazy word. Oh boy.
Some unknown gravity pulls.
The body knows that what UG is saying is right, but your brain and mind tells that it is not right. It's good. That's going a little too far. What is
Sir,
it?
you said you had visions of this the Muhammad, Buddha and Shankara. When did it happen, sir?
That's 21 years ago.
How did it happen? What made it appear there?
Flushed out like the dirty shit.
From your knowledge.
It is a shit. Are you ready to accept that?
No, but you are
No, come on. It's like the fecal matter.
So it came out of your knowledge.
All that knowledge, not mine. From what I read, from what I heard, from what people told me.
So it came as a vision, sir.
What?
This Muhammad, Buddha and all that.
You can not vision because you become that.
No, you said something.
See, what you call
Morning
you, sir, this is not a vision. You sit here, suddenly you see, you have breasts. Actually, if you touch, probably you feel it also. Your male organs have changed into a woman, long hair, sitting there. And then moment you see the division occurs, it is only in a divisive state of quote-unquote consciousness. You can experience what you think is happening. There is a division already there. So since division cannot exist, it is wiped out. It is destroyed. I don't know if you understand what. Without a division, you cannot experience anything there. The fact that you are experiencing that it is not UG that is sitting here, some beach that existed there in Kashmir or your Mahadevi here, or somebody else, who thought that they were in a body, absence of body consciousness to prove wandering naked in the streets. So next time it is Jesus, next time it is Buddha, next time it is some joker. I did not know who it was. This is very strange. I never knew about this in Greek mythology. There is a god. The body is the body of seal, and the head is a human head. Like it's in Narasimha here. The head is the head of a lion, the body is a human body, but in Greek mythology, the body is a seal, and the head is the human head. So suddenly I found myself to be that seal with a human head. Then I started wondering. Barry gave me the answer. You see, Barry was very well read, It was he who helped me, because he was very familiar when I had these eruptions here, big things there. He said he brought a book on Chinese mystics. Both women and men have these horns. Even in Bible you have this, I suppose Moses said, horns. So these swellings here, they translated as horns in the human body. So he brought those books and showed me everything. It was he who helped me a lot when I was going through all these strange things happening. And so that is thrown out. Everything that you consider sacred, holy, is thrown out of your system. So that is the reason why I use that phrase, marching out of the saints. They are worthless, they are contamination. But you are not ready to accept that fact. They are flushed out of your system because that earthquake hit it, see, or something. When earthquake is a very necessary phenomenon for this planet, absolutely. So, but it is destructive for us because our people are dying, we are losing properties, but it is readjusting itself, realigning the whole balance, see, on this planet. It's a very necessary phenomenon. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen there. So, in exactly the same way, this earthquake throws everything out and then it readjusts itself. The body readjusts itself to its own natural rhythm in harmony with everything that is there around. So there is no more a separation from this body from this you are sitting on or from what you are looking at, from what you are listening. There is no difference. That does not mean that I do not know. I know, I do not know in the same moment when I am looking at the picture.
I know that I do not.
No, don't be clever. No, I know and I do not know are in the same frame, in the same moment. That is what they are talking about, the time. The chaos and order is in the same frame. You cannot interpret the universe as run on order. You can't say there is chaos. You don't know a thing. So you will not get a Nobel Prize. Like that, you see the Homer's Odyssey and Iliad. So many people wrote theses are plural, I don't know, saying that the author is not the same, the author is the same. They all got doctorates from Oxford, Cambridge. And through the help of a computer, they found out that the author is the same. So now, if you want to, with all these PhDs, so one of these days they are going to find out. It's about all your scriptures, whether Shakespeare wrote or somebody else. It tells you the article, that woman who came to see me, somebody fed the computer to find out. You see, Bob and Paul, they say that, you see, I myself wrote the article, the non-existing woman came to see you. I said, I am not Krishnamurti, Krishnamurti reviewed his own books to fool myself and fool others. So they feed it in the computer and find out the stylistic devices. This is not your style. That doesn't lie. So one of these days you will find out whether Shankara wrote Saundarya Lahari.
No, that is even now, they say that Shankara never wrote
Because
that.
it is very uncomfortable to accept the fact that he was the author. I went one step further. You don't like it. I said, Shankara is the author of Kama Sutras. Vatsayana is the pen name. Vatsayana pen name. He was a sex-starved bastard.
So perhaps when he entered the body,
When we say
Parakaya Pravesha.
Saundarya, why do you make that comment?
No, when he made Parakaya Pravesha, then he experienced
Yes, that is why he is making the point.
Yes. That you agree, no? He made Parakaya Pravesha.
Do you believe that?
There also we want to say it is not there.
Because it is very uncomfortable for it in the philosophy you are teaching. You can't act.
Regarding the vision, you saw.
Same is the case with your Patanjali. Patanjali was just an editor who put all those things floating around. He was not a yogi. The whole yoga system is wrong. See, in the end you practice the savasana. But yoga starts with the savasana. First you have to die, you become a corpse. And then the movements of the body. Not standing on your head, standing on your shoulders. It's athletic nonsense.
Yoga, as we know, helps the body. Whereas in your case, there is no body that man doesn't have. For us, we have the body. So
Are you sure?
Patanjali's yoga.
Who
helps
says
the
that you
body.
have the body?
We say it.
We say that you can claim it. I can claim this house is mine. And you will have a lot of problems to put me out of this house. I'm a squatter.
Coming to this vision, you saw Muhammad, he was a
Most handsome of all the spiritual bastards. I never had any homosexual tendencies in me. I would have even fallen. I go to that extent.
Very handsome, sir.
Very handsome.
So what about Buddha, sir?
Buddha was the filthiest bastard.
He's being recorded.
He ate so much.
Filthy house.
He could write, use his stomach as a desk.
Writing table.
Because,
Very fine. This is false. The Buddha you have was created by, in Gandhara's culture, some Greek fellow created this for you.
A handsome Buddha.
Huh?
Actually,
That is not very
Chinese
Chinese
Buddha.
understanding
Chinese
of
Buddha
is the real one.
Ah.
With a big stomach, and
I
we
see.
use it as a desk.
That's a real Buddha.
how about Jesus, sir? Jesus
Jesus
vision?
was a real bastard. Real bastard.
So how did he look? How did he look?
He looked different. But this still is the artist's idea. But, that is how all the masters' pictures you have in the Theosophical Society. Leadbeater, through his clairvoyance, projected this on the painters and they painted. But where are they now? It came out that Blavatsky forged all these 3,000 letters written by masters. The computers said that. Even the handwriting experts could not say firmly on that subject in the court. When there was a case about Krishnamurti, 1913, there was a case in Madras. Anybody can read it. Court records, it was there. Guardianship case. So they are,
How the Blavatsky's, these master's letters came into the...
all forged masters never existed.
In the court, how that
To prove that their Leadbeater had no clairvoyance at all. I proved it in a different way. I used to sit right in front of him, sir. If he doesn't see anything in me, he's a phony. He never saw anything in me, like the way. And how can a man who put J. Krishnamurti on the world scene as a world teacher say, when he dissolved that organization, we bet on a wrong horse? That you don't find in his biography. We bet on a wrong horse, he said. He never saw him afterwards.
So his clairvoyance didn't help.
The only way it can hold on a thin string is that Krishnamurti has become a teacher in his own right, on his own. That was what he wanted. He wanted to be freed from the stigma of the world teaching. He's worked so hard. You haven't heard this palmistry reading. That's very interesting. He compared my form with that of J. Krishnamurti. When I made a statement about my heart line, I have the heart line of the butcher. He said Krishnamurti's heart line was worse.
The reading is here, sir.
Yes, it's there. We can't watch because there is no
Apparently
VCR.
yours was better.
No,
You are a
I'm-
better butcher.
No, better butcher. Now he also made another statement. He was born with no potential. And so he achieved that through his hard work, through his effort, through his will. And here, you were born with a potential, you wasted it all for 70 years. Now is the time that the potential is coming out. This is the forest.
How is the potential? What way it is coming from?
I never used it. I wasted it on my spiritual sadhana.
How many years?
How many years? 49 years. Total waste. You are going to do the same thing as
But Krishnamurti also did a lot of sadhana that day.
everybody did it. You can't do. That is why Vijanand's very good, Chandrasekhar. You have to walk through the dusty lane. There is no way. I want to give her something else. You are present.
You want to walk through the dusty lane.
What?
You want to walk through the dusty lane.
Yeah, this is
Sunday.
first one. Which one? Good. Yeah,
He said this is
thank her.
Thomas said that his career was just starting.
Then I said, you know, you are taking my money. Why do you have to pick it up? You can take it.
Same thing that
I gave it to him. And all the people around me said, how can you do that? They started beating him. Let him have the money.
what was your motive, sir?
Huh?
What is
We have to make a living.
Or you wanted
That
to
is
change?
No,
Like that same miserables, that jinn, you know.
not at all, not at all. That is his living and you and I are responsible for that. If your Prime Minister put 60 lakhs of rupees or $60 million there in a Swiss bank, why do you tolerate that fellow? You should lynch that bastard. And you are going through the whole legal procedure, no definitive answer. It's a fact.